Why, hello there. It's kind of raining. You must be freezing. Why don't you come in? Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time since I last saw you. I'm sure you've been up to a lot of things. I've also been up to a lot of things. So why don't you come to the living room so we could just chat and catch up a bit? Please, do have a seat. As you might know, I used to be a librarian. I owned a library for a long time. And most of the books I had back in the day were books talking about paranormal and supernatural stories, mostly urban legends, for example. And I love these books. These are my favorite kind of story. Oh, actually, here's an idea. Since it's raining a little bit and it's night, why don't I tell you one of these stories? This one is really a classic. It's called Stairs.
Stairs. In 1984, an old widowed lady lived by herself in a two-story house. She was completely immobile and bound to a wheelchair. Ever since the mysterious death of her husband, she required the aid of a caretaker, who would visit her daily to help with her everyday tasks. What made it so difficult was the fact that the two floors of the house were only connected by an old and decrepit staircase. When the old lady needed to move between the two floors, the carer would have to carry her frail body like an infant up and down the stairs. One day, the police received a call from the widow. There had been a murder. Since police units were scarce at the time, and the murderer had already fled the scene, only one detective was sent out to conduct the initial crime scene report. He arrived to see the caretaker's body splayed out on the floor with her vocal cords ripped out, leaving a pool of blood on the first level of the house. The old lady sat atop the staircase in her wheelchair watching him, still and silently, seeming in shock. He would immediately rule her out as a suspect, due to her inability to move up and down the stairs, and because she was trapped up there the time the murder took place. It was similar to the death of her husband many years ago, who had suffocated in his sleep on the couch downstairs. The detective put on his gloves, took photos, swabbed for evidence, and covered the body until the coroner arrived later. All routine business. He swept the entire first floor for any clues, then asked the old lady if he could look upstairs. She insisted that she was upstairs the whole time and had no one apart from her had been up there that day. Regardless of this, the detective ascended the staircase, to which she slowly and hesitantly moved aside. Beyond the staircase, there was a narrow corridor with 3 closed doors along it. He checked behind each of the doors. The empty bedroom, nothing. The bathroom, nothing. He became anxious as he slowly made his way to the final bedroom where the old lady slept. He opened it and everything looked normal. A bed, a wardrobe, and a bedside table with a lamp. He checked every wall of the room in horror, as it was not what he discovered. But it was what he didn't discover that made him stop dead in his tracks and slowly reach for his gun and holster. It was a detail so minor, they had completely overlooked it on the last investigation of the husband's death. There was no phone upstairs. He suddenly heard a noise. He withdrew his gun and rushed out of the room, only to find an empty wheelchair atop the stairs.
So, the next time you see an old lady in a wheelchair on top of a flight of stairs, just don't trust her. Things just might go really, really wrong, especially if this woman is a murderer. It occurs to me that it's still really raining out there, so why don't you stay here for the night in my guest room over here? There's a bed and everything you need. So, I hope you sleep well, and remember, you're always welcome here.